programme which works across the whole organisation, which is focused on increasing the numbers of older people who visit the gallery, but also is affecting the way that we programme the space as well, by bringing perhaps some of the issues or themes which might be particularly pertinent to people when they're older into the programming approach of the gallery. We're really using the programme to understand much more about this audience group. It's not just about getting people through the door for the sake of it. It's about understanding the diversity of that audience group. Our target audience in this project is people over 70. Well, within that, the range of interests, life experience, needs, both kind of physical and intellectual needs, is enormously varied. We had done some good research, but it was limited, and on the basis of that research we devised a series of things which built on the success of some things we were doing, but some things were completely new. We were very aware that there was room to fail on this project, and in a way, that's what you'd want to do. You can't really be, you make your best guess, but you still have to take a punt on something. And I think this is giving us real insight into how key relationships are to older people, and really kind of developing a strategy for working with that.
Yeah, I've noticed how people come in and that wouldn't usually come into Fabrica, how they come in and relate to the piece of art that's in there, and also they can sort of make me see the piece of work with different eyes, because they've got a viewpoint that is completely different and in some ways, well, very fresh.
There's always a small proportion, I'd say, in every single different kind of event that I do, of people who never work in a visual way. So they've never drawn anything, they've never thought of themselves in that sense, creatively in that particular way. The ground is fertile. I think those people will come if it's given time. I don't think it's something that you kind of dynamically go out into the world and drag people back in. And I think that because Fabrica has opened up to older people, they're starting to come. I think they're doing very good work with connecting with older residences.
Yeah, I think it's just that maybe some of the participants that have come to the group, they weren't aware of the gallery and its existence. I think that's one of the things that Fabrica is, I believe, is working on to try and to get the message out there, to get the word out there that there is this fantastic venue putting on really interesting art exhibitions, and I think it's a journey that's still continuing to kind of open up, really.
I think people usually say when they come in, if they've enjoyed it, they'd come back again. So that's quite common to hear that, I never knew that Fabrica was here, but now I do, I'll come back. So that's quite nice. I think that's a good impact on them.
But there was a talk last autumn, and I was queuing to get into Fabrica for this talk, and there was this lady next to me, and she said, "Do you know anything about art?" And I said, "Well, I don't know if I know anything about what's going on this evening." But she said, "I've never been here, and I wanted to try it out."
I believe that working with this group in this way has really has helped me. Has changed my opinion of audience engagement. I think when I work with the group, it's it's a shared learning experience. When I go to an exhibition with the group, I'm almost a participant as well. I'm there. I'm learning. I'm having conversations, and I'm also enjoying all the different perspectives that the participants are offering, and so it helps me to engage with art and see things from very different perspectives. I think what the core of it is there is this possibility and potential for learning from each other, and that's something that which keeps me really interested and motivated to work with this group. They teach me a lot, and I know that from hearing from different perspectives and people's different opinions, that there is this kind of group learning that happens, as well as going to see something which is of interest.
Some of the stories that I've heard while working with the older audience have been quite gripping, kind of end-of-life stories, which are sometimes quite upsetting about how people feel about their own life and their own situation.
I think it gave them an enormous sense of pride. And I mean, a lot of old people don't shout about what they do. And it was quite surprising in that some people who, one particular resident who I didn't even know did any artwork suddenly came down and said, well, I've got 3 paintings I'd like to showcase. And they were really, really good quality. And as I say, we didn't even necessarily know that he enjoyed doing this type of thing. So I think it brings everybody together, and it's a lovely way to celebrate and be proud of other people's achievements.
Yes, definitely. That increases a lot of confidence.
Yeah.
Because by mixing with other people, then you don't get shy.
Right.
So that we can overcome our shyness and isolation. So.
I think since Fabrica has been involved with residents at Patching Lodge, it has opened their eyes and made them a lot more aware of the different types of art that is available, particularly when I think they visited Second Sight, which is quite a sensory exhibition. That appeal to people perhaps who have are not so good with their hearing or sight. And I think that was a wonderful experience for people.
And I was amazed. They were showing different sorts of art, and this one was from Brazil, from artists that live in Brazil and painted, and obviously sent them over here. And it was fabulous, really, because I always thought art was for young people, And when I took my old people down there, I thought, what reaction we're going to get, but no, they liked it. I loved it.
Yeah, I think I've become a bit more aware of contemporary painting, contemporary art. I've developed an interest in it, which I missed out on all the years that I've been away.
I avoided art galleries in many ways, and 2 ways. I didn't want to be reminded what I couldn't do, and I was fed up with my own reflection in the glass, And here it was, for the first time, I was going with Fabrica over there. I was going to see something that was that I could look at and wouldn't reflect me, and I would feel in no way disappointed that I wasn't working.
Photo Biennale was on the first time I was here, and they had a bus, and we are going outside Brighton to the other event, and I thought that I really enjoyed very much. I mean, that was one of my most favorite event, because I think that is good if you're not so mobile or whatever. You just had to go there, go in the bus, and I take you there and I take you home, which is great. And I really, really liked that.
Certainly get me out of the house. and get part in activities. That's really good for older people, yes.
Yes, we didn't have a clue what we was going into. I never do with these things, which is part of the beauty of it. You never know quite what's going to you're going to be confronted with. But they showed us all around, and we looked at clothes, people that had costumes from the past and all that, and it was really, really interesting and good. And it certainly opened the old people's eyes up, you know.
Life drawing is my favourite thing. And I'm also able to make it big, you know, rather than small. So I actually enjoy it.
You get to know other people. I made some friends there, which I'm a model for one project at the moment, also about older people. And so, yeah, you know, when you do grow older, people think you don't do anything anymore, but by God, life is still full of interesting things one can engage in.
It's very social. What happens is that you see the same people, you know, night after night or day after day. Not always, but and people get to know each other, which is rather nice.
I've got to know them, which has been good, because as you get older, and I must confess to being older, you can become more isolated, and also if you have something wrong with you, then you become even more isolated, and this has been a relief. And my one day a week is really treasured, and I stop any sort of appointments that happen on a Tuesday if it's possible for me to do so, you know.
And that's another good thing. People won't talk when you first take them somewhere. They're a bit shy, especially the older people. But when they sort of start and they say, "Oh, I remember this, I remember that," and they open up then, and they got really into debating. And they still talk about it now, you know. Do you remember when we done this? Remember when we done that? You know?
So it's a good way, when you come to a new city, as I did, of meeting people. And strangely enough, I see them in different places. So again, I think they're similar sort of people to me.
I think that was good. I think the interaction between a number of different people, of different, you see, the similar, I think it must be Tuesdays, the similarity in age is more or less sort of concertinaed, I'm sure. Well, I don't know what happens for the rest of the week, but they're all the same idea. But they have come from very many different walks of life, and they have their own appreciation of what's going on. Some may never have been into a gallery, and I'm not being, I'm not being cocky about it or anything like that. They may not have been into a gallery before, but they responded because they could actually do something.
I hope so, yes. I would like to stick with it, you know, stick with Fabrica.
Oh, absolutely, I hope so. I hope so, as long as I mentally and physically can.
Thank you very much, Fabrica. Keep with it.
I think that if the funding stopped with regard to being able to take our residents to Fabrica, we wouldn't be able to go. I mean, it is as simple as that. And, you know, that is the bottom line, really, that, you know, a lot of our residents are just not able to get out on their own, and they can't afford to come down themselves. You know, they would need somebody, you know, for instance, to help them on the bus, and we just don't have the manpower to do that, all the volunteers, and it's very sad. And it's made a tremendous difference. And we can't wait for more things that our residents can benefit from, because it's wonderful for them.
That's what I'm saying. You never know what you let yourself in for, and but this is all, I think, the beauty of it. It's like a mystery tour, really, when you go to these places.